Hi guys, Jamie from Heartfelt Horsemanship here, and I am here to talk to you guys about an anticipation station. So when you have completed Module 3, you'll have all the building blocks to be able to maneuver your horse around and start using patterns for progress to actually start making some progress towards performance or whatever your aspirations are with your horse. And Gareth is going to ride through the anticipation station. Gareth and I both use this pattern a lot. And the pattern is a combination of circles, straight lines, turnarounds, and following a trail for our horse. So that way we've got a good amount of variety. So we're working on keeping our horses balanced left to right, front to back, and traveling forward. But once you get all of the basic patterns kind of going nicely with your horse, we use this pattern to help our horses learn to ask a question. Now, when a horse learns to ask a question, they don't make assumptions about what's going on or make decisions about what they would rather be doing. Sorry, Danny is a little bit in the way here, but he's nice to look at, so we won't kick him out. So you can see we have Gareth making a nice big circle here, and we have an anticipation station set up between those two markers, the yellow blocks in the center of our arena. At the anticipation station, Gareth is going to make a change. So you could never do too many transitions on a horse. And a transition in my book is not just a change of gait, but it can be a change of speed, a change of direction, a change of afflection, and part of that is going to change the size of your circles. And what we want to do is start using the anticipation station as a way to cause our horse to go, what would you like me to do next? Through training with operant and conditioning, our horses know that there is a consequence for not responding to us when we change, when we ask them to change and do something different. So the idea here is that when we have asked our horse to do something, that they continue doing what we have done, what we have asked, and continue to travel that way back to the anticipation station until we ask them to do something different. So the idea of this, any discipline that you work on, dressage, cowboy dressage, reining, horsemanship, all of the above. This is a very wonderful exercise to get your guidance system right. Now the idea is that by working a prescribed pattern, you have a way of measuring if your horse is improving or not. So when Gareth comes through X next time, somewhere back on this side of that circle, the anticipation station is X. Somewhere on the back side of that circle, Gareth starts preparing for, he knows in his head what he wants, but he doesn't ask Dreamy until right there. So he starts mentally preparing before X, or before the anticipation station, so that Dreamy can physically prepare to do it at the anticipation station. So at the anticipation station, Gareth is going to make a transition. And in my book, a transition means change. So it might be a change of direction. It might be a change of speed. It might be a change of flexion. It might be a change of contact or extension. It could be a change of speed within a gait. And the more complicated changes will be left until your horses are in higher levels of development. But right now, just being able to ride through this pattern, it's really a concept, ride through the concept of an anticipation station and show your horse where to ask a question, you are setting your horse up to be sort of looking to the next step to see what you might have to offer. What this does for us as riders is it causes us to start preparing in advance. I think a lot of the fault that I have with riders is they don't stay very focused And so they might stay focused for about 3 seconds, and then they sort of forget where they're going, and they expect their horse to know exactly what they had in mind. And the higher level of riding you wish to attain, the more or the longer you're going to need to hold on to that focus. The longer your focus, the softer your horse is going to be, and the better their focus is going to be. So this is really an exercise in partnership. So when I first start using this pattern, I'll use this after my horse can do straight lines and circles and follow the rail, perhaps some cloverleaf, and I'll use more straight lines for a horse who's undermotivated. I'll use more circles for a horse who tends to be overmotivated. This exercise kind of combines everything with the idea that we want our horse to become mentally, emotionally, and physically balanced. And to start making more efforts towards partnership. So Gareth is doing it's fairly casual rein riding right now. I think he's probably going to start picking up more contact and asking for a little bit more flexion from Dreamy. But right now, he's just working on making a change. So basically, if Gareth asks for a change at X, Dreamy gets an instant release, or being allowed to do what we have asked him to do. And it starts setting our horse up to feel like winners. So if you have a horse who kind of gets worried in an arena or gets bothered by changes and transitions, usually transitions cause a horse to become a little hot. So when we get our horse learning to read our body language and our intention, we can take our anticipation station, and that's where we can start applying them to more specific disciplines. So for me, X is the first place I need my horse to be able to make a transition well. Everything sort of happens around X in a dressage arena. And then as my horse progresses with this and starts understanding that they can ask a question at each identifiable spot. So right now, X is the spot that we're working with. Then we can take that to the letters in a dressage arena, or expand our circles and start working on our circles for something like reining. Horsemanship is actually a really nice one where you're going to change your anticipation station. But for the most part, there's only so many things you can do in a rectangle arena, and people tend to become unfocused and bored. And what I love about this pattern is it offers enough variety that your horse doesn't get bored and the rider doesn't get bored, because you're going to make a change every time you come through X. So remember, change of direction, change of speed, change of flexion. And in the meantime, that actually gives you as the rider an opportunities to start building your riding skills. If we just come in the arena and just kind of cruise around haphazardly without any sort of prescribed idea of what we're doing, we don't really give ourselves the opportunity to improve. Or better yet, we don't give ourselves the opportunity to measure our improvement. So those of you who have ridden Dreamy know that Dreamy can go to sleep quite easily if, things aren't really entertaining to him. He just, he'll cruise around and he'll get the job done, but he can be sort of lackluster. You can see Dreamy's actually becoming quite a bit more animated, or better said, Dreamy's becoming forward through doing the anticipation station. And you can see his ears are flicking back to Gareth, his eyes are blinking, he's doing a lot of licking and chewing. And for Dreamy, who always likes to know the pattern, he remembers cowboy dressage tests that he's done years back, and he can go out and execute them perfectly. So he actually quite appreciates the pattern. But if that's all Gareth ever did with him, Dreamy would get quite bored. And when Dreamy gets bored, Dreamy kind of becomes lackluster and doesn't put a lot of effort into it. This way, Gareth can do something that has enough consistency. Circles offer consistency, and the change at X is where the variety comes from. And in that, Gareth and Dreamy have an opportunity to develop their partnership and start working together. If you guys want to know more about the anticipation station or the patterns that are in Module 3, the Mastery, or Patterns for Mastery, do send us an email at heartfeltkzn@gmail.com. And I'm happy to send you details about the correspondence course. And don't hesitate to comment or ask questions. We love hearing from you guys and always gives us inspiration for another video to do. And this is one of my favorite patterns, so if you guys would like a lesson, Gareth and I will be traveling here shortly now that we are slowly being released back into this world, and if this is something you'd like to work on, let us know.